we have no fear. The wind's direction is drawing near.
Hi there, it's Jada, and welcome back to another YDUS Influencers. Today's video will be on our unexpected glory as daughters, that glory being our daily life or what should be our daily life as daughters, older sisters, younger sisters, nieces, cousins, so on and so forth. Oftentimes we as daughters, nieces, cousins, but predominantly daughters, believe that our glory comes from the works that we're putting in our offices at the school, or maybe for those that have jobs at work, whatever you do. Some of us think that those offices are glory. Those are that's what's going to get us to the kingdom of heaven, and that's not so much the case. And while it does help, it is not entirely true. That is not the entirety of what's going to help you grow and get you there. The point that I'm making is to say that the same amount of effort that you're putting in those offices and at work, you need to be doing that at home with your parents and with your family. For example, like say your parents tell you to do something and have it done by this time, you're like, I need to do other things, I have more important things, or I just kind of don't feel like it. But if your boss or your manager or a leader over an office tells you to do something, you're stressing over it. You're making sure it's getting done, and that should not be the case. The Bible tells us that in Sirach chapter 3 verse 7, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 verse 7, that he that feareth the Lord will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. And I kind of read that, I used to read that differently. I used to read that as he that feareth the Lord will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as masters. And I used to read that as, oh, your parents are your masters, which they are. But it says as to his masters. So you have masters like a boss or a manager that you respect, and if they tell you to get something done, you will do it. You will make sure it gets done. But your parents, you're kind of like, what are they gonna do? Fire me? They can't really fire me. It's more like it's a more lenient relationship. And Sirach chapter 3 verse 8 says, honor thy father and mother both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them. So while it may feel good to have that gratitude and gratification from other people outside of your home and family, the blessing really comes from your parents, your mother and your father. For those that don't have a father in the home, your mother. And I know it feels like people outside your home are everyone feels like people outside your home are more grateful for the works that you do. And that may seem like what's being done, but let me tell you, that's not the case. Because for me personally, there was something that happened. I used to do I clean our pantry, and I stopped doing it for a while, and everyone was like, because I didn't everything kept getting messed up. No one seemed to really care. Like they put the olive oil with the pastas, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just not gonna do it anymore. Y'all clearly like it that way, so I'm just not gonna do it anymore. And then I stopped doing it, and everyone's like, dang, Jada, I remember when you used to do this. I really missed it. It looked so nice when you all did that. And I'm just looking like, are y'all kidding me? Like, there's no way that y'all actually felt this way, but reacted that way. And there's a saying that you don't know what you got until it's gone. And that was the case. Sometimes that is the case, that your families your family members don't appreciate something until they don't have it anymore. Like you're not doing that for them anymore. But let's also read Hebrews chapter 6 verse 10. For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love. So when I was doing that, I was doing it out of love. I was doing it because I wanted the pantry to look nice and pretty, and I wanted everyone to be able to find stuff easily and go with the olive oils and be like, okay, I want that oil, and go with the pastas and be like, I want this pasta. And I was doing it out of love. But after it got to the point where I'm just like, oh, no one cares, I did not want to do it anymore. So I stopped doing it. But God did not forget that. He did not forget that I was doing that out of love. That work and labor that I put into that, because it wasn't just nothing. it was work and labor and thought process that, okay, I'm gonna put the pastas over here so they're easier to get to, and everyone uses the olive oil daily, so I'm gonna put that right in front of your eye. I was really thinking about this, and it felt like no one cared or like even appreciated it until like after. And it said, "For God is not unrighteous to forget." It felt like no one really cared, but God was watching that, and He knew that like that happened. And I don't know if like you ever had, like, if you've all ever been in a situation and it's like you do something and then you just do it, and then like years go by and you kind of just like kind of fall off, and they're like, and you, like someone's talking and you're like, they're like, I don't know who used to do this, but I remember that, and you're like, oh, I used to do that, and they're like, really? I just never knew. Like some people never know who was doing that. Some people didn't know that it was even happening, but it was just kind of like it was needed. And that's just one example. There are certain parts of the household that other people don't have to worry about because certain people are just dealing with them. Like there are certain things I don't have to deal with because my sister or my brother or my father, my mother, they deal with those things. There are certain things that I deal with that no one else even has to worry about because I'm going to deal with them. They're my duty and responsibility at home. So let's read Philippians chapter 2, verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. So when I was doing that, because the pantry, it requires a lot of focus and like patience. You're reorganizing an entire pantry. It's not going to be like, oh, done. It takes patience and dedication and time. And I did that because it needed to be done. And I like to think that when someone wants you to do something, it's because they want you to do it how you do it. Like you're the best at it. I know it's like oftentimes you'd be like, why you always like, especially for those that have like parents, like both parents, if and one calls you and then the other one calls you and then one calls you and then it's because they think you're dependable and you're responsible and they want you to do that. They like when you do that. At least that's what I tell myself. But yeah, I know another time something happened and I was doing something for a long time, and I was just like doing it and doing it and doing it. It just became like that's my place in my family. That's like I'm gonna sew all the fringes. Like other people, like my sisters and my mom, they have sewing machines, but I usually sew all the fringes in the house. And it's not like no one else can do it. It's just that is that's just my place in my family. There are gonna be jobs like that where it's just like other people can do it, but it's your glory. That's what everyone wants you to do because you do it the best. And it's to the point where people trust me enough to go, I'm like, what do you want? What color fringe you want? And they just go, it's up to you. And I'm just like, oh my, like it's such a big deal to me. Like, oh my gosh, I get to choose. But yeah, it's gonna be times where it's like you don't think about what's going into this. You're not very vainglorious. You don't want to be vainglorious. You want to be doing it with love and like not the strife. Because I know every daughter has been through that. You're about to go clean the kitchen, and then you come downstairs, or like you're going downstairs, and someone goes, "Hey, the kitchen needs to be cleaned," or your mom or your dad is like, "Clean that kitchen," and you're just like stopping your tracks, like, did they really just tell me what I was about to go do? And now you clean the kitchen, like, why I gotta clean the kitchen? Like, I was already finna clean the kitchen. Why you gotta tell me to clean the kitchen? You ain't gotta tell me to clean the kitchen. I know to clean the kitchen. But it says, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory. So don't do anything with strife. A lot of the time, people say, two people tell you to do something. It's because they just didn't know that you were about, like, how would they know you were about to go clean the kitchen? You didn't shout it through the house. And it's very ironic that that happens. And I want to go touch back on Sirach 3, verse 7. He that feareth the Lord will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. That service is literally like service. Like it feels very, very servitile. Like I know everyone has like had that moment where your parents like they call you and you go all the way downstairs, you go all the way upstairs, and they ask you to give them something that would be so easy for them to get. but they need you to, they want you to do that. You are their child. They are your masters. I know it stings. I know it hurts, but that is the truth. That is what the Bible says. And there are things that I would not know how to do, that I would not appreciate, that I would not even fathom myself being able to do unless my masters and my parents told me to do those things. Like, I would not know how to change a diaper unless I had to take care of my siblings and change their diapers. When I have children, Lord's will, when we all have children, we'll be able to take care of them. You'll be able to handle those households. Like, for those that, like, say your parents, like, you handle like the household laundry. When you have a household, you'll be able to do the laundry. For those that are always cleaning a kitchen, your kitchen is not going to be dirty. All praise. You're going to have a nice clean kitchen. For those that clean the bathrooms, back to Philippians 2 and 3, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. I often tell people, like, they'll be like, what office are you going to join? And they're telling me, like, what job would you like to have in the school, in the body, in the congregation? And I'm like, I would love to be on sanitation. People kind of look at me like, what did you just say? When I tell them, like, I love cleaning bathrooms. And they're like, and then I'm like, no, not in a weird way. In a way, it's just like, it's very satisfying having that work done and being like proud of yourself because you did that work. Because it's not easy work. I don't think there's any work that's easy work, or else it wouldn't be work. So yeah. And it says, let each esteem other better than themselves. And there are things that I do that it's become habit now that I do because it was harder for other people. And it's not saying they can't do it, it's just harder for them to do it. And it's things they do for me that it's because it's harder for me to do it, so they do it. Like, for example, for those that have sisters, they understand that dynamic of like, oh, she hates doing this, so I'm gonna just do it because I don't mind. And then there's stuff that I hate doing that my sister she does instead of me, because that's that relationship of a family, of that's our glory as sisters, daughters, cousins. With a shout out to all the daughters here, the younger sisters, older sisters, nieces, cousins, all of y'all. And let me say another thing. For those younger sisters, like older sisters, y'all be doing y'all thing, helping y'all siblings, and being mad patient. I would say that. And long suffering. And forgiving. But younger sisters, when we're not acting crazy, because I am a younger sister and I am an older sister, so I see both sides of things. It's so funny. But for younger sisters, when we acting right and mature, we kind of mature a little bit. We are the like life and fun and like joy of the family. And it might seem like unappreciated, and people might like, oh, the younger sisters are spoiled and like snotty and just like mean. But in the laws of God and when we acting right, we're so like just like joyful and lovely and like happy to like be around. Like, people love to be around the younger siblings because we get a pretty bad rep, us younger siblings. But yeah, that shout out to the younger siblings, the younger sisters. This has been another YDOS video. Shalom.
They're coming for you, they're coming for me. A nation, a whole family. We know the word and what it says. Don't be afraid. They killed the prophets, destroyed the seers. From Greece to Babylon, now here. Across to bear, a load to share.